Today I had this wonderful energy experience, and it reminded me how important this work is. And I'm going to share a little bit about this in a moment. Before, this video is about after divorce. I realized from an email I got the other day and with an analysis in it that told after divorce, men had 9 times more suicides, has 9 times more suicides than women does. And I've read before, and I shared with the men in my group, that in midlife, seems like what many calls a midlife crisis really hits a lot of men, and it's like the energy gets sucked out of us. After a divorce, it's kind of like, okay, you got the midlife crisis, but then you got the divorce also. And if you've been married with a woman for many years, maybe you got kids together, kids are grown up and things like this, it's for many people like there's no life back. And there's so much unresolved inside of us. And I do believe that's part of the reason why so many men suffers in midlife, but also after divorce. So I'm going to speak about this topic about after divorce today, and I'm going to give you a mantra that helped me a lot after my first divorce and after my second, which was the not divorce, but breakup with the narcissistic relationship. But before that, I will share with you the energy experience I had today. I have these, they happen to me, it's my work with men, but it's also what I work with on myself. And I've spoken in these videos about trapped energy, about trapped emotions, about all the unresolved inside of us. And I do believe more and more, because of my own experience and what I listen to from men who I help, is that it's kind of like we got a lot of energy that is stuck inside and it keeps us down. And I do believe now that in a long relationship, what I'm speaking about in this video, we more and more forget about ourselves. It becomes more and more the woman and the family. We forget about ourselves. And a big part of us really doesn't like that. So my experience today, which leads me into this video, is that I experienced a lot of trapped energy, and because I've done this work for some years now, I experienced tension in my body, in my jaws, in my stomach, in my chest today. And when I'm curious and let things come up, I see pictures, words comes to me, and I describe them. And I do believe today that's the words that's together with this trapped energy. So what happens to maybe 99.9999999% is that we don't want to feel this. And I was like that for plus 45 years, unconsciously or maybe consciously, but we don't want to feel it. So we numb ourselves with alcohol, with medicine, with drugs, with work, with women, with play, with stuff, to not feel these things. And from my work, what I experienced is that, and what happened today was that being curious, let it come, and doing the right things is kind of letting the body do its own stuff. It's all in the energy in the nervous system. Let the body do its own stuff. And I feel the tensions. I feel the trapped energy. Doing the right things, breathing into it, become very aware what's going on in the body. Tensions happens, maybe even tension even more in that, and relaxing at the right time, but be aware and let the body do what the body do. What happened to me was that I just felt the energy flowing, releasing, all through my body in different layers. So, okay, tension, energy flows. tension on another level, energy flows, tension on another level, and energy flows. This is not easy to do alone, but it's possible. That's why I seek help. That's why I help other men doing the same thing. Now, the fact is, what happened to me, it became deeper and deeper, and some very, as I describe it now, what comes to me is that it's something in our unconscious, in my unconscious, and it shows up. Different things shows up, and things that I have not been able to handle before. It always shows up as it shows up. Something that is never possible to predict what will come today when I do these things. And that's part of the process. So what happened to me was I released, I did all of these energy exercises, and my experience today ended with what I'm telling you in this video. It ended with, and just before it ended, I had this crazy experience where the whole world was shaking around me, and it was very difficult to be in this. For some, this might sound very crazy, but being in this is really what I do believe is the most powerful, the most showing of love to oneself. Because that's all the shakiness, all the darkness, all the untrapped energy, all the stocked energy, all the stocked emotions in there. And it's not easy to be with that. But when we do that, that is the name of the game if we want to figure out who we are and we want to get closer to ourselves. And that's what happened for me today. Again, I experienced, by the end of my experience, a very warm, calm, pleasant energy, just lying there and feeling taken care of by myself. Everything is cool, everything is good, everything is so nice. And ending with a very loving feeling inside, and ending with myself lying like this with my hands on my heart. Not because this one told me, just because it felt right doing it. I had goosebumps all over, and I just felt the love running around in my body and my whole system. When I started this session, I'm just free flowing here. When I started this session, it was okay. I want to live more. I feel nervous. A lot of things are going on. I feel a little impatient about when is the deals closing, when are things going to happen, and that was my coming into this experience. And I knew that there was a wall behind what I actually want and where I was today. And that wall is all the trapped energy, and I feel it, and I released it, and I felt so close to myself. And this is what I want to talk about in this video. Are you with me still? If you are here with me right now, in the comments, give me a high five, and I will give you one high five back, just for being here, because this is a mission for me and maybe for you also, and I invite you to this mission. So just for being here, opening yourself up to much more love and to yourself. Because coming out of a relationship, coming out of a divorce, like I mentioned, especially in midlife crisis, we don't have the same energy, we don't have the same muscles, we don't have the same brain, and now we're without a woman that we probably been like more and more into complex things. So when we go out and we are all by ourselves, it's like, what is going on in my world? You know what I'm speaking about? And let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. So men suffer after divorce. And what I want to share with you today is that when I had my first divorce, which was very, very tough one for a couple of years, and just after that, I shared videos about this. After that, I went into another relationship, and that relationship for around 6 years turned out to be a very narcissistic relationship. I did videos, so I'm not going to share too much about it. The first one, my divorce, took a lot of life energy out of me. I remember myself, and I didn't feel good. I felt empty. I felt I don't know who I am. I felt that what I wanted to build was not there anymore, and I felt lost. Then I met this beautiful, gorgeous woman, and I was like, wow, this is the woman of my dream. Everything was so perfect. And I was like, one more time, into her. Forgot all about myself, trying to please her, trying to make her happy, trying to make her feel loved. So this is probably a little bit more for the people pleasers here, but I realized that I was the people pleaser. So one of the first things, including the experience that I shared today, doing all of this energy work and really release all the hidden emotions in there. One of the first things, and I'm still with this today, was kind of like a mission, and it was a mantra for me, and was kind of how I lived my life for some years. And I invite you to be curious about this and maybe even go on your own thing with this. I see from some of the comments and some of the other videos that some men are lost in this phase, and some men are after this phase and have realized some of the same things that I'm sharing today. So, as I say, when I look back, I was a people pleaser. I really wanted her to feel good. I got out of myself to please her. I forgot about my own boundaries. I was too much into, does she like, does she want what I'm saying? How can I please her? So if you can relate to that, maybe do even more like this now and listen very closely. So if you feel devastated, lost, no energy after divorce, you don't know exactly what to do, or you feel like there's nothing, there's no worth in being here anymore, I know exactly how that feels, and I can relate to that. And I do understand, like I mentioned in the beginning, why those numbers of 9 times higher than women. I'm not a woman, but I understand it from a man's side. So here comes the invitation. Instead of trying to fix something out here, instead of trying to help her, let her feel, and all of these things, instead of trying to please her, oh, the divorce is over and you are alone. But here's the mantra: become your own best friend. I'll say this again: become your own best friend. This is so deep, and this is so cool, and this is so nice. And it didn't happen at once for me. Might happen sooner for someone else than it did for me, but it took some time. But it's still the best thing that I ever done for myself in my life. So what does this mean? For me, it's been, like I mentioned, I had the opportunity, I took some years, and I really devoted myself to become my own best friend. A mission, a mantra, figuring out, who am I? What do I like? What do I prefer? What do I want in my life? Not what does he or she or anyone else living on their terms, which was what I did for many years, but become my own best friend, become your own best friend. Feel, learn, who are you? Feel, who are you? Feel what you like, and it will change. Feel the experience of being you. Feel, where are my boundaries? What happens when somebody says, when somebody does? And instead of, if it's a people pleasing part of you, like it was for me, instead of just jumping out there and people please, in the beginning, maybe just observing, not just because I know it's a little bit of work here, but just observing what's going on in my inside. And instead of pleasing, go inside and figuring out, how can I really be my own friend here, my own best friend? What does this inside of me want? Okay, maybe this inside of me does not want to please her. Maybe this inside of me actually just want me to please myself. maybe this inside part of me, and this is a crazy one, wants to hug or wants to treat myself with a nice walk at the beach, or treat myself with a dog or something like that. Does this make sense? And again, it was a mission for me. It was a mantra, but it was coming from and I see that more and more, coming from really from love, from inside of here. So instead of, which was who I was some years ago, and I still have parts of this inside of me, but I'm more and more aware and I speak very openly about it. Instead of someone has an opinion, I'll try to correct to make him or her happy. Someone tells you something that they want or need, and I'll do my best to fix that. Someone wants something from me or you, and we'll do our best to give it to them. Someone plays around with us because he or she wants this. Someone pushes me and you around. Stop being pushed around. Stop being pushed around. Go inside instead. And maybe just stop focusing on everything going outside here, but feel, okay, someone is pushing to me. What do I feel? I feel sad right now. Instead of trying to please the person, become your own best friend and please yourself. What I mean by that, okay, you feel sad. Give love and tender to that part of you who feels sad. You feel angry because someone is saying something stupid to you, doing something stupid to you. Even in midlife, this happens, it's life. Instead of trying to fit into that person's, so we don't make them angry, go inside ourselves, give love and tender and care to that part of ourselves with breathing. That part of ourselves that gets angry, that gets nervous, that gets pushed around, that gets sad, that feel like crying, the emotional part of us, of ourselves. So become your own best friend. And I really invite you to actually just put in the comments under this video, I want to become my own best friend. Wherever you are on your journey, because I want to become my own best friend. I still work on this. I still work on not myself, because I'm here and everything is perfect, but I do know, as I mentioned, that there's something inside of me, there's still something here, and then there's the reality out here. And I enjoy more and more just really feeling those emotions of love. And also now I do enjoy more and more when I feel the tensions, when I feel the angriness, when I feel the sadness, when I feel the nervousness, when I feel the impatience, all those part of me, that's not me, because I know, and it's not easy, but when I feel those things, when someone is pushing my buttons, when something is pushing my button, now it's really flowing here, then I know that it's not about him or her. It's about what's going on inside of me. And I know there is something here, unreleased, trapped, whatever you want to call it, energy, something that was created probably years and years and years ago. But the thing is, and that was what I experienced today, when we release that, the energy will flow inside of us. That's the life force. That's the energy force. That's so nice and great an experience. So I look forward to see some comments below this video, and then see you in the next one.